Sorry for those folks out there in Zoom land. If you are listening to this, and welcome to Candidates Night. I just went through the exit strategy. So if you're interested and you want to exit your house, you should have that plan in place. All right, so tonight we're going to do it this way. We have a couple of videos from the school board people, so we're going to play those. They're about 2 minutes each, so we'll get through those. Then we have someone that has a time constraint, one of the selectmen, so we're going to do those them first. And then we'll just proceed down the list, okay? So the format, I'm sure you all are aware. We've done this several years in a row. It's basically, if you ask a question, it gets asked to all the candidates, and they all get a chance to answer it. They'll do a 2-minute intro. You can ask their questions after, and then we'll do like a final minute that they can wrap up. All right, sound good to everybody? All right.
I am Scott Rollins. My partner Gretchen and I purchased a home here in New Hampshire about 6 years ago, and Gretchen is an educator in this district. So what I decided to do this past year was to get involved a little more intimately in what's going on in the community. So I started attending the school board meetings, and I found that there's a definite need for a perspective that isn't already sitting on the school board. I feel like running for school board is something that I can help to give back to the community more, to help not only our students in this district, but also our educators and also the community itself. Priority number one has to be transparency. Be communicative to the community, make sure they understand within the confines of what we're allowed to do and what we're allowed to say. Make sure that they know what's going on a day in and day out basis and why we're doing those things. My goal is to help make sure not only we keep the programs that we have, we keep the good educators that we have, but to be better at it. Fiscal responsibility comes along with that. Like, you can't overspend. And my 30 years in facility management tells you that. So I think I have a unique perspective in that sense that I can address problems before they happen versus being reactive to them after they happen. Being proactive is definitely the key in taking care of your educators. As a board, if you're doing your job and you're doing it well, the community will understand the moves that you have to make. I think what I would tell the voters is, please, if you have a question, ask. Come to me. Let's talk. Let's go have a coffee. Let's chat via email. Like, the more that we communicate, the better it's going to be.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Gravel. Running for school board feels like a natural progression. My 2 children have allowed me to experience kindergarten through 8th grade in 3 of the 4 Sanborn schools, and my daughter will be starting at the high school in the fall. I have spent countless hours volunteering with PTO groups and forming relationships with the Sanborn community. I'm also a licensed mental health counselor in the field for 24 years. I have decades of relevant experience from working in shelters, hospitals, prisons, and schools. I've treated learning disabilities and neuropsych disorders, assisted families with navigating IEPs and 504 plans, advocated for accommodations, taught communication skills, upheld ethical and legal standards, and every day I bring compassion and humanity to those who are struggling. The school board's job is to make sure our children are educated, but that's more than curriculum and test scores. I've worked systems where funding issues led to sewage leakage in the treatment rooms, indefinitely pausing treatment. I've worked systems where good treatment plans were developed with not enough staff to carry them out. Providing education with too little resources and buildings that aren't properly maintained with not enough teachers is going to interrupt any school's ability to educate and is going to have many students fail to reach potential. I understand the real job of the school board is balancing what the schools need to function optimally with the funds the district has available. And I also understand that this balancing act creates dissatisfaction for you. I've seen how in school board meetings, concerned community members speak out and don't feel heard. The responses from the board do not ease the concerns. If elected, I believe I can create positive change. With skill in the area of perspective, I see and hear the needs that aren't being met. Educational needs for our kids, financial needs for our livelihood, and need for improved transparency. With skill in conflict resolution, I can promote collaboration for solutions that feel beneficial to all. And with skill in the area of communication, I know that transparency means more than being told the truth. It means clear explanations given with genuine empathy, sharing information, but also listening. I'd be honored to be elected and make this difference. Thank you.
Okay, you're gonna need a microphone, so grab one. So we have somebody here from the school board
For
that,
1 second, I couldn't hear any of that.
Can you mute him,
My
please?
volume is turned all the way up.
thank you. Okay, so Michaela here is running for the school board unopposed. He is going to give us his little spiel. Now, let me make sure you got your.
Is this gonna work?
Let's just make sure it's,
Just hold it like this.
yep, you're good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, hi everyone. Thank you for coming tonight. As you know, what you just heard was, no? Okay, how about that? Thank you. What you just, and I apologize for my voice. It's been a lot of basketball games and screaming over the weekend. What you just heard was two candidates for the at-large position. Residents from Kingston, I believe, running for that position. I am running for the Newton position. I'm running unopposed, but I still want to tell you why I'd like to continue my term for the next 3 years and review some of the accomplishments that we've done this past 3 years. So I've been fortunate enough to hold this position for the last 3 years. During this time, we've taken meaningful steps as a board toward academic improvement. We helped institute new, more rigorous math and reading curricula across K through 12, along with other important academic improvements. As a result, our district's test scores in math and reading are now above state averages, and our science scores, while still below state averages, are on a consistent rise. That progress reflects a focused commitment to raising standards and supporting our students and reaching them. It also reflects supporting our teachers. During my past term, we were able to pass a strong teacher contract with measurable impact. This helped us attract and retain high-quality educators to the district, which has been instrumental in our academic recovery following COVID. Strong schools begin with strong teachers, and that was an important investment in the long-term health of our district. At the same time, we have maintained consistently fiscally responsible spending year over year. I understand, as all of you do, that with recent reassessments and rising costs, many families, including my own, are feeling the increased financial pressure. Over 80% of your tax dollars, or around 80% of your tax dollars, go to support the schools. So my fiscal responsibility is never lost on me, nor is it lost on the colleagues that I serve with on the board. It's why we've worked to budget responsibly and to consistently return money to taxpayers each year to help stabilize tax rates. This year in particular, you'll see on the ballot a proposed budget that reflects just a 1.23% increase over last year and approximately $1.4 million below the default budget. This, in concert with the Budget Committee and their hard work, was reached through a collaborative effort in the face of inflation and rising fixed and contractual costs and obligations. This demonstrates our commitment to balancing fiscal discipline with our responsibility to students. Many of you might also know that we also recently hired a new superintendent incoming in July 1st. His name is Adam Houghton. I'm confident that he will help reestablish a strong sense of pride and identity in our community and as a district. As part of the Finance and Facilities Subcommittee, I've helped drive the execution of much-needed capital maintenance projects, including the LED lighting project that we're undergoing with Siemens, which is already showing return on investment. And this ensures that our buildings remain assets to the district and makes us attractive to students and incoming families. So that's kind of a summary of some of the big things that we've accomplished over the last 3 years. Looking ahead, I hope to continue serving the communities of Newton and Kingston. I want to see our upward trend in test scores continue. I want to continue giving careful and thoughtful consideration to every dollar spent, particularly in facilities and long-term planning. And I look forward to working closely with the new superintendent to rediscover who we are as a district and to strengthen pride in our schools and in our communities. Many of you have heard also about the impending open enrollment. This is the idea that if this passes the state legislature, students will generally be able to go to school wherever we want. A lot of people are worried about this. I see this as an opportunity. I hope in my work on the school board to help position our district to capitalize on this, to ensure we welcome and we become, as we once were, a destination district for families in surrounding areas. If we do this thoughtfully, we can help create a stronger, more financially stable, and sustainable future for everyone. It has been an honor to serve you for the past 3 years, and I would be grateful for the opportunity to continue that work alongside representatives from Newton and Kingston, balancing extremely thoughtful stewardship of taxpayer dollars with meaningful growth and opportunity for the students of today and tomorrow. Thank you. Yeah, questions?
Okay, so if you have any questions, we can go to the microphone and ask them.
Hi,
Hello.
Mike Conley, 18 Overlook Road. I have a question and I would like to ask how the people, the two candidates that were videoed going to answer these questions, because they should answer them in a public forum as well. Do we have that set up?
They scheduled
I
it
know,
at the
but
same
we have
time.
to have a forum for them to answer these questions if anybody comes up. So we have to think about that. How many, do you know offhand, how many students who have IEPs where the school is in default? Do you know how many of those exist in your school system?
Can you clarify the question again?
IEPs,
Yep.
how many of them parents have raised it to the state level and the state has said the school is in default?
That I don't know. That
Okay.
the superintendent would be the best person to answer that question.
Okay. Part two,
But it's an important issue.
It
so
is.
I'm expecting that you. Yeah.
you should understand that because
Yep.
it's happening.
Okay.
Number two, to that question, you're short-staffed. You're short-staffed not only with teachers, but paraprofessionals. What's the school's plan to become better staffed so that those IEPs can be followed correctly?
That's something that is definitely handled at the school level. The function of the school board is that's a very particular question for the director of special education services and the superintendent. But I'm going to take a crack at it. But I want everyone to know that this is not my wheelhouse, and it's not really the purview of the school board. It's the purview of the superintendent to execute on that.
Correct.
So with our incoming superintendent, you can be sure that we'll make sure that he knows this is an issue and has a plan for that. But I would think one of the things that we are looking at is one of the reasons that we are short-staffed is because special education costs a lot, and we can't afford sometimes to keep people on staff when we're doing out-of-district placements. And I think that the answer to that question is to keep students in our schools. It's more financially responsible, and it's better for students to stay where they are and get the supports that they need, and I think that will actually save us in the long run. It'll save us money in the long run, allow us to have more staff on site than spending the money sending kids somewhere else. So at a very high 30,000-foot level, because I know that that's happening now, I know that out-of-district placements have been the norm in the past. Philosophically, I believe that it's important if a student needs supports, that they should get them in place as much as possible first before we ship them off somewhere else to the extreme cost of taxpayers. So that's how I would start to approach it, is making sure we're doing out-of-district placements only when absolutely necessary, saving money by keeping kids with us, and investing in people on site to help.
If you can get those skills, that's the key. But I appreciate your answer.
Yeah.
I'll follow back up with you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, please, to everyone, I heard one of the candidates up there say, please just talk to me. I hope everyone feels that way about all your school board candidates. If you have questions about anything, please email us. We will respond. Yes.
Bob Marchand, 8 Highland Street. So my question is this. You talked about fiscal responsibility, so did the candidates. Fremont students were going to our schools at a discounted rate.
Yep.
The citizens of Newton and Kingston we're helping support and pay for their education. So fiscal responsibility in the future, these other children that you're hoping to get into the school system, are they gonna pay their own way, or is the town of Newton and Kingston gonna be put on the hook again to be helping to pay for their education?
Yeah, as I understand it, two points there. As I understand the bill, and I know that it's going to get changed, it's bouncing back and forth in the state legislature, it would be the sending district that is responsible for the tuition funding, not the destination district. So if somebody wants to come to school here, it's the town from which they come that would have to pay the tuition. That's the first thing. Second thing is the narrative that Fremont was getting a discount was true before they decided to negotiate in bad faith and leave, right? After that was the case, we realized that the fiscally responsible thing to do was to execute our contract to the best of our ability, which was to charge them the maximum tuition rate that we could before they left to recoup some of those costs, and make sure that if they tried to pull students out early in violation of the contract, we got financial compensation for that, which did happen.
Thank you. I just wanted all our citizens
I
to
appreciate
know
it.
about it. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay.
Thank you, Charlie.
Charles Melvin, 81 South Main Street, Newton. My question is, I want you to correct me if I'm wrong, because talking to Pam Brown, she's the chairman of the budget committee, she told me that the school budget was going up $4 million. She got it down 1.1 to $3 million. Now, where Fremont is leaving, shouldn't we be getting a reduction instead of an increase of $3 million?
So a couple things on that. Pam and the budget committee worked hard to dig through the budget that was proposed by the current superintendent and did say this seems, the superintendent's budget was lower than the default as originally proposed. The work of the budget committee brought that down even further. So there's, you know, Pam brought a keen eye to the line items of that budget. She brought good fiscal responsibility, as well as the rest of the board and the budget committee that deliberated on that. So the budget that we have is very thin now. The reason that it's gone up is really only due to contractual obligations that we have to have from the teacher contract. Health insurance increases 20% year over year, energy costs, things we can't control, right? So the budget is very thin. It's only a 1.23% increase year over year, which is, and in the past, you've all seen default budgets that are X, and then you've seen proposed budgets that are $10,000 less, $20,000 less, which is kind of a slap in the face, right? This is a deep cut, because because Fremont is leaving. And remember, it's not like they pulled out all their kids at once. They're leaving in a phased approach. Many of the Fremont kids who've started school at the high school are continuing. But there's this sort of, they're not sending 8th graders this year, and then the next year we have some that graduate, and then there's no 8th graders incoming. So it's a phased approach. So we're feeling the impact financially of Fremont leaving in a gradual way, and we're trying to deal with that in the best way possible while still supporting the kids' education. And what that means, though, is reductions. It does mean a budget that's thinner than normal. And it does mean that we're going to have to be really, really conscious as we move forward. As more and more of those kids leave, we're going to have to get creative around how we deal with this and how we get kids back into the school. Open enrollment could be the saving grace of this Fremont debacle. Because I know that from personal conversations with many, many people in Fremont who had no idea what their board was doing and didn't support it. They want to send their kids here. They don't have the opportunity anymore. If this thing happens, I bet we'll see a lot of them come back. So, thank you.
Yeah.
And Charlie, if you want more on that, I'm happy to. Okay.
Anything else? All right, thank
Thank you very much, everyone.
All right, can I have the candidates running for select board? Select Board, yes. Have a seat, people. I'm on, not on.
Next time, I should send a video.
Okay, let's make sure all your mics are good. All right. Everybody good? All set?
It's working.
Okay, all right. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll give them each their 2-minute introduction, and then we'll go forth and you guys can ask questions. Why don't we start right here?
How you guys doing tonight? I'm Dan Guide. 3 years ago, you, the people, elected me to the Board of Selectmen. Over the past 3 years, I believe that we've done great things, and I want to continue doing that. I have 5 kids. I've been married. It'll be 3 days, 25 years. My wife grew up in Newton. I have 3 kids in the district right now that Micah was just speaking to. I own a business locally. I've been on the Timberlane School Board, the Sanborn Budget Committee, Planning Board here, and now the Selectmen. I've taken numerous classes on municipal budgeting, RSAs, RS91A RSA, which is the right to know stuff. I enjoy doing it. I love doing it, to be honest with you. Most of you know me and you've seen me. I really do enjoy it, and I hope you guys give me the honor so I can continue doing the same thing that I have been doing for the past 3 years for this town.
Hi, my name's Lisa Gagner. I've been a town resident for over 30 years. I have previously served as your selectman for 2 terms, from 2015 to 2021. I am currently serving as the town treasurer, and I have decided that it is time for me to step back in as a selectman role, because there are some things that I would like to see changed. Things like getting the transfer station warrant article back on the ballot each year to move funds from that account to offset the transfer station budget. That's one of the things that I want to see happen, and I haven't been able to get it done as a resident, so maybe I can get it done as a selectman. But mainly I want to be a little more transparent, I think, than what the current board is. Get more information out there to the people so they know what's going on. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Ashley Sylvia. I'm a wife, a mom of 4, a youth sports coach and board member, and your neighbor here in Newton. My family and I have been proud to call Newton home for the past 4 years. This town is where my kids go to school, where we see familiar faces at the store, where we play down at Greeny Park, and where we built our village. Newton isn't just where we live, it's our community. I decided to run for a selectman for a 1-year term because I care deeply about the future of our town. I'm not a career politician, I'm one of you. I understand what it means to raise a family here, to pay taxes here, to support local businesses, and to want safe roads, strong schools, and responsible spending. As a mom of 4 and a coach in our community, I've learned how to listen, how to problem solve, and how to bring people together, especially when opinions differ. I truly believe that we have much more in common with each other than we think. I know how important it is to be fair, level-headed, and transparent, while also remaining passionate about the cause. I believe those same qualities are essential in town leadership. Newton deserves leadership that's approachable, accountable, and invested. I am these things simply because this is my home too, and all I want is to leave Newton a better place than when I found it. I would be honored to earn your vote. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and those people, those folks at home. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Joe Simone. I am currently one of the selectmen in town. 5 years ago, I became actively involved in a lot of the things that are going on in town, and the reason I did that is because I know we needed to change. We were doing things the old way. Things weren't getting done. There was a lot of division. I should say divisiveness amongst the staff, amongst the employees. So I started talking about culture change. And it took a little while for it to catch on. But all of a sudden, like about 6 months later, sitting out in the audience, I heard one of the selectmen say, and we need to do something about the culture. Well, hopefully it's catching on. We have, for the past 3 years, we have changed the culture of this town. A lot of people don't see it up front, but it's a lot of the things that are happening behind the scenes. And I'm proud to say that I've been one of the people that have assisted in this thing. Are we done yet? No, we have a long way to go. We still have some things that we need to do. So that's one of the reasons why I'd like to continue on the journey. Over the past several years, I've currently serve on the Recreation Commission, the Conservation Commission. I was the chair of the Newton 275 Committee, along with a lot of other great folks in town. Serving a lot of different, do a lot of different things around town. I feel a selectman is not a job that's a 1 or a 2 hour a week job. You need to come in, see what's going on, see if anything needs to be done. So over the years, I've been a mail clerk, I've been an errand boy, I've learned how to peel potatoes for the people, the folks at the collaborative school when they do their annual Thanksgiving dinner. I think I can go through a couple 100 pounds of potatoes in a short period of time. So, but on top of that, you deal with a lot of nice people in town. You have the pulse of what's going on in the town. You see people come in, you talk to them. You have a feel for what's going on in the town. You visit with the various departments and see what they're doing. And it's really been fun and enjoyable. And I just look forward to serving you folks again for the next 3 years. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Charles Melvin. Most of you out here probably know me. I moved to Newton in 1968. 1969, I got on the Zoning Board of Adjustments. I spent 15 years there. Then I turned around and left there, went to the planning board, figuring I could help there, and I spent 30 years there. I've been your state rep for the last 8 years, and I've done quite a bit for the community, for the town. When I was a selectman in the past, 2 terms, and I did an awful lot for the town. I got things done. I got the fence around the transfer station. I got the intersection down here done, which is a $2 million job. I'd like to continue on. I like the job. In Concord, we pretty much saved you pretty close to $1 million in the last 2 weeks in new taxes. So again, I'm a very, very conservative individual, and I don't like to see money thrown out the window. So I'd like your support.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions from the audience? Nobody? How about on Zoom?
I don't see any hands right now.
Okay. Oh, we got somebody. All right.
Hi, my name's Debbie Marchand from 8 Highland Street. My questions are, what are your thoughts on Article 6? Are you for it, against it, and why? Either way.
You want to start here? Okay.
Article 6 is a land purchase, so everybody's clear, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm absolutely for it. I found out about this land 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and it was too late when I found out the first time to get it on the ballot. So when I caught wind of it, I brought it to the board. I met with the landowner, and we figured out how to do it, how the landowner wanted us to have this property. He wants Newton to have this property. So the landowner and I and the board figured out how we could do it and get it onto the ballot with the landowner's permission. We did that the first year. It did pass, but it needed to pass by a supermajority. This year, the terms changed, so it's on the ballot again. Pretty much the same wording, a little bit different on the terms, but I'm really hoping it passes. I am 100% for it. I think this is an awesome thing for this town.
I am in favor of it, but I did have my reservations. I just want to say that I was not in favor of the financial aspect of it. I understand the reasoning behind it, which is right now it's $250,000 to come out of a capital reserve account and $250,000 to come out of general taxation. That means a one-year hit of $250,000. So while I may not be thrilled about that particular aspect, I do understand that doing it that way means a majority vote as opposed to a 3/5 vote. And the other reason I'm in favor of it is because this is the last year that we will have this opportunity to purchase this land.
So I also do have my reservations, but I would say that I am in favor of it. I do think it is going to be a really great thing for the town. And I think in the long run, if we didn't go this route, it is going to cost the taxpayers more. And for that fiscal reason, I would vote for it.
Yes, I am totally in favor of this, and we've been working on this for quite a while. Being a selectman, we're the stewards of the community, and we have to not only think about today, but we have to think about down the road. One of the biggest things in this town is our infrastructure. Our infrastructure for the past, I want to say, prior to me getting on the boards, probably for the past 10 boards, I feel that the select boards at the time were really not in tune to what we need in the future, because our infrastructure is falling apart. I don't know if you folks know, but if you go downstairs into the town clerk's office, it's on a slant. The building is definitely sinking. Do you put good money into bad? I don't think so. The building, if we did something on one little aspect, we'd have to bring this whole building up to code. We don't have enough money to do that. The land at 8 Merrimack Road would be a great adjunct to the town, because for the future we could have a town facility, a town green, whatever you wanted to do. We could have functions there right now rather than going out and trying to find a place to do things. The library could hold events if we built the library there, which hopefully that's the plan down the road. The library could actually sponsor events for the children of the community and the adults, where there's no restrictions in terms of AED requirements. I mean, they'd be handicap accessible. Right now, our building, our library, although it's handicapped accessible, it's very difficult getting up to the second floor, and they can only accommodate a certain amount of people. Our building here it does not work for what we need to do today. And I know a lot of you folks are in here, and you can see that. So for that reason, and the fact that being stewards of the community, it's need to think forward, and I think it'd be a great value for the community.
Well, I'm opposed to it. I'm opposed to buying that land. But if the town passes it and I'm elected, I will work with the rest of the board to secure it. I can't see spending $500,000 for a piece of land when we wouldn't spend $3,000 for the church across the street and pay back the back taxes. All we had to do is forget the back taxes and pay $3,000 for that building across the street. We have over 300 acres. We should be trying to find somewhere else to do it.
Well, my question sort of was kind of for Lisa, because I did see your online thing, and you said you're opposed to the 250. Where would you have gotten the 250,000 if you weren't getting it from taxation?
Okay, so we're going to do this a little round robin type of thing. All right, so we'll let Lisa go, then we'll go down and keep going like that. So each member will get a chance to answer that question.
Okay, so if it had gone by bond, it could have been a 10, 20, whatever year, which would have lessened the tax impact each year. So it would have been a one-year hit. That is what I would have preferred to have seen, but like I said, I also understand the reasoning behind it is because it is the last year we have an opportunity to do it.
Okay.
I truthfully feel like I can't really answer this question, as I would need to learn a little more about how the money moves and whatnot. So I don't feel I can really give you a good response.
There, in terms of where we would have come up with the additional $250, there's really no particular options. That's probably the only viable option that has the least amount of impact on people, although people might think it's a big hit. If we're looking at that property for a $400,000 house, the bogey is probably about less than $100. So you tell me where in today's environment you could spend for the future of the town $100 and get towards a piece of property of that value.
I think it was a one-time hit of $96.
Yeah, it's like under $100, so it's, round figures.
Gotta be honest, I agree with Joe.
Yeah, no, the board always intended it to be a one-time thing. We tried to make it a one-time thing the prior year, and the property owner didn't want it to be a one-time thing. He wanted it over the course of 10 years. Again, like I said,
Things changed.
things changed with not a lot of time. So when we found out things changed, the board was kind of scrambling, trying to figure out how we're gonna do this. We don't get to dictate terms, the landowner does. So we adapted and did what we thought was in the best interest of the town to secure this land, which had the best shot at succeeding. That's what the board does, and that's what we did.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a question? And this time we'll start with Ashley.
Okay. Good evening, candidates. Pleasure to meet all you here. Some people are new, so this is awesome. Rest of you I know. My name is Tom Lackborg. I live at 24 Smith Corner Road since 2002. Most of you know me as the builder for the industrial park, Southern New Hampshire Industrial Park in town. Currently the second biggest taxpayer in town, and shortly will be the biggest taxpayer in town. I would like to hear how you will help support us and promote us into the future if you become a candidate. Thank you.
Support and promote your business?
Say again?
Support and promote your business?
The park for the town.
Park. I think that just pretty much talking to people, learning and what people want there and what maybe we can do for the town by getting different businesses in there and drumming up some tax revenue and things such as that. But I think we're not going to get there unless we know what the townspeople want in the first place. Because we can put whatever we want on the ballot, but not everything gets voted through, right? So I think, that needs to be our focus, is talking to the townspeople and seeing where we can help out.
It's kind of like a complicated issue because, number one, the Board of Selectmen does not dictate what I want to say what the...
I'm not asking you to tell us how to do it, what we're doing. I'm saying, how would you help us promote it?
Well,
you're part of the town. You're part of the town.
Well, I think moving forward, I think our relationship has gotten a little better with that development over there.
Absolutely.
And I think, if you come to us with an opportunity, saying these particular people are looking for, I mean, if it's a viable opportunity for the town, we feel that it's in the best interest of the town. All the plans and everything are all been approved by planning and zoning or whatever. I see no reason why we can't say, listen, yeah, we have an industrial park here. We'd like you to come be part of it. And I'm sure if that happens, I'm sure the auxiliary businesses will pop up. Like, we might get another sub shop, we might get another restaurant or something like that, and that could definitely help our. So we would be. I personally would be very in favor of, promoting anything we need to do to, once everything gets, straightened out and going.
Thank you.
Again, I agree with Joe. I would turn around and work my hardest to get that development finished, to get Mr. Coleman McDonough out of town. Simple as that.
Okay, thank you.
So I think you guys are going to see a vast improvement, if you haven't already, going forward. The select board we support you in your business in bringing more business into town by doing the buildings that you're building. I like that it's kind of hidden. You can't tell. You know what I mean? You guys have the two entrances. You can't tell it. So it's a really good thing for the town. Yeah, I mean, we'll continue to do how we have been doing to support you guys to get your stuff done, you know. And I look forward to it when it is done, to be honest.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm not exactly sure how the Board of Selectmen can help you promote it, other than if you were to come to the board and say, these are the businesses that we want to come in, or, hey, can you talk to the planning board, maybe help us get things moving. The select board could definitely work as mediators on your behalf, which I would be happy to do. I do believe that you have a big parcel of land, you're putting in a lot of businesses, a lot of buildings. It is good for the town because it is tax base. You know, the more buildings you build, the more tax value it is, and it helps support the town in general. So, and I think you recall back when I was selectman before, we did actually try to work with you and the planning board to get things moving when you were stalled. And I would like to continue to do that.
Thank you. And yes, things have gotten very good in the last 3 years. It's going in the right direction.
Thank you,
you.
Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay. All right, do we have anybody else from the audience? No? Okay, so then what we're going to do is going to give a little bit wrap up on each one. So we started with that. So Joe, you're up. Just your little final wrap up.
Well, once again, I think I've been involved in a lot of things that are going on. I think I have a good pulse of what's happening in the town, what we need to do. We, as I said before, we still have areas of improvement that we need to work in, and we're addressing those. I think a lot of those people who see the day-to-day activities know that we have been working diligently, openly, transparently, collaboratively to get things done and moving in the right direction. I mean, just in the past year, we've made several hires to fill key spots in the town, and I think that's going to. I think the people will see the results of that moving forward. And we're just, unfortunately, we were left a half-open can because there was a lot of things that were wrong in a lot of departments, and we've been working to correct them. One of the biggest things is we don't micromanage our departments. We let the department heads run their departments. If there's any issue, they come to us, we work with them and work it out. That was one of the biggest deficiencies in the past because the prior boards, the prior administrations, collectively, were all micromanaging in their own little individual thing. And that caused morale to go down the tube so fast. So we're working on that, and we'll continue to work on that.
I was waiting for you. I'd like to go back a little bit to the Coleman McDonough project, only because of the fact that years ago, I was on a committee to have a company, a tire-to-energy plant, go on that site. And we all fought to get that off that site. And we didn't. They ended up going to California, and when they went to California, California turned around and called our committee and asked our committee what went on, and we basically told them our side of the story. Well, to be honest with you, they went to Pennsylvania, and when they went to Pennsylvania, they got the permission in Pennsylvania because they pollute a lot in Pennsylvania, and they went bankrupt. So that's what would have happened to us. So the Coleman project is really a good thing for the town. We just need to let the planning board do its job and have the Board of Selectmen stay out of it. I wanted to get that across.
So I want to recap on some of the accomplishments of the selectmen the past 3 years, the boards that we were on and that we did. So when I joined the board, the first thing I think that I brought to the board was we needed to get rid of the liaisons. Liaisons were one board member sat and was in the police station, was a fireman liaison to the building department. We decided to get rid of all the liaisons because the liaisons were starting to act like bosses at the transfer station too. And it was like a switch. When we got rid of all the liaisons and we stopped micromanaging all of these departments, it was like a switch with all the employees in this town. They could see that this board was different. We weren't going to do it that way. Another accomplishment was hiring our police chief back there, Mr. DeFlumery. When we started interviewing over the course of what, 2 years? 3 years.
3 years.
I couldn't even, we must have interviewed 10 guys that, and this is hammering it down through a hiring agency to try to find the right guy. And the whole time I'm saying, I want my hometown guy. I want my guy that's from this town, that's gonna care about this town. And there was some that could have been that guy until Rob came in. And it was no question to anybody on the board at the time that Rob was our guy. So Rob worked for a year with the interim chief of police. Do you know currently that interim chief of police is at the academy because he wants to come back and work in Newton under him? That's a home run hire in my book, both of them. What else do we do? There's a lot of things, and the things for the future that we want to plan on. So we talked about the transfer station, right? Everybody goes there. The account has $400,000+ in it. The board, prior to this meeting, to the last couple meetings, we had talked about redoing the entire transfer station. We have to fix the warrant article the way it's written so the board could possibly use that money to rehab the entire transfer station. We want to pour cement pads. We want to change the levels of some things so it's easier to throw your trash away, possibly bring in another compactor. So that's something that the board is going to focus on. With or without me, I would assume that the board is going to focus on that in the future as well. And obviously the land purchase is something that is not something we need to plan on. If it happens, awesome. The buildings and all that stuff is down the road, but we have to start to form committees to start to figure out how we're gonna do this and what the town's gonna support doing that going forward. I wanna be a part of that, and I look forward to it.
All right, I'd like to touch on something Mr. Guide stated about the liaisons. When those liaison positions were created, they were not created to be micromanagers. They were created to ease the department heads' positions so that they could, rather than having to stand in front of the whole board when they needed something or had questions, they could go to one select board member, their liaison, who would then take it to the board for it to be resolved. If the liaisons over the years changed and became micromanagers, that is not what it was intended for. So getting rid of it, if that's what they were doing, that was the right move because it no longer served its purpose. As far as the transfer station, I agree that's a mess. There was somebody we had interviewed years ago who had plans, didn't get hired. But it is still something that we need. We do need the transfer station warrant, the current warrant article for the transfer station revolving fund to be modified to allow those funds to be used more efficiently. A good example would be we collect the funds for bulk items, goes into that fund. That's where all those fees go. When we pay to dispose of those bulk items, it comes out of the main budget. It's not coming out of the account where all that money is going. So when they raise the fees for the bulk items, it's not because the costs are going higher, because they're not paying for it with that fund. So yes, change the use of the transfer station budget or get the people to agree to that so that it can be used more efficiently and the funds can be applied where it is needed most.
So I just wanted to say that I'm super thankful for this opportunity. I'm really excited to learn the ropes from some really great people that I respect in town, and I might not have all the answers right this second, but I can promise you that if you come to me with a question, that I will get to the bottom of that answer for you. So, looking forward to the future.
I think I already,
Yeah, you started.
You started.
but I thank you for the opportunity.
All right, if no other questions, then I will release you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we have 2 people from the planning board that are running. You guys, gentlemen, want to take? All right.
To even look good. That's a joke.
All right, welcome. So we'll do the same thing. They'll get their 2-minute spiel, and then we'll have people can ask questions. All right? Jim, we'll start with you.
I'm Jim Doggett. I think a lot of people, at least everybody in the audience, knows who I am. I've been involved in the town since the mid-1980s. For the past 23 years, I've been either a member of the planning board or I was the administrative assistant. I spent 22 years taking extended learning opportunities surrounding planning through the New Hampshire Municipal Association and other sources. I could give a long list of, I've done 31 years as an elected official of the Sanborn Regional School District. I've held many different positions in town, from cemetery trustee to trustee of the trust funds. I'm pretty much an open book.
Okay, my name is Stan Duncan. Excuse me. And unlike Jim over here, I am relatively new to the area, so there's a lot of people in this room who will not know who I am. I moved here about 6 or 7 years ago, which is not that long a time. A little bit about me: I was born actually in Amarillo, Texas, which I understand is going through a Dust Bowl disaster right now as we speak. And then I lived for a long time in Oklahoma, then in Arkansas, and in Tennessee, and Missouri. And also I spent 3 years living in Central America and traveling around working with relief and development organizations, hunger, poverty groups. They do wonderful work, by the way. And so I was cataloging all those to see if they could work together with one another, how to do this a little better, how to do that a little bit better. It was a great job, by the way. Since I have come here, I have been here not all that long, as I said. However, I really have kind of grown to love this place. And some of you may know that a couple of years ago, I ran for a state representative. And then I helped out, I was on the planning board for the 275th anniversary we had last year. And this year I'm on the Historical Society. I'm the secretary of the Historical Society. Who would have known that I'd know how to write? But I have learned how to do that. And I'm working on that right now. So I'm getting more and more involved, and therefore when this came up, I thought, hey, I could make a contribution to that. It's not like I have done this precisely. There's a lot of things, bills and codes and zonings, a lot of things I'm gonna have to learn, but I'm a fast learner. And I hope to have a chance to do that. I should say one more thing, by the way, when I was talking about various different vocations that I had had. I have been a lot of other things. I was a business owner for a while. I was a van driver for a while. I was a social worker for a while. My ongoing job, however, during all that time was as a Protestant pastor of churches. And that's one of the reasons why I lived in so many different places. Unlike, as my son says, I was running from the law. Actually, as you may know if you know Protestants, you have to move every few years, and you don't always move someplace close by, and so I did a lot of traveling around. I finally retired and moved up here to this lovely spot with lovely people, and I'm excited to see if I can make a contribution.
All right, do we have any questions for them? Going once, twice? All right, gentlemen, thank you, appreciate it.
That was so bloodless.
Sometimes things happen. And while they're moving around, I have an announcement to make. On March 4th, between 6 and 7 p.m. at the fire station, there will be a informational night where you can go and meet some of the current selectmen that are here and some that are not, and other members of the departments. They will answer your questions about, or try to answer your questions about the warrant that is going to be presented to you on March 10th, where you will go vote and decide whether or not to, you want these things. So remember, March 4th, 4 to 6, light refreshments will be served, I'm told. 6 to 7? Oh, sorry, 6 to 7. I know, it's, that was gonna be your dinner, right? So please make an effort to attend and get your questions answered. All right, so now Mike Pavero, he's our road agent. He's running unopposed.
Good evening, folks. A little loud. Is it? No? Okay. All right. My name's Mike Pavero. I reside at 6 Maple Ave. I've been there since 1984, where I've raised my family, 3 daughters. Right now we're raising 3 grandchildren. So we've been there quite a while. As has been stated here tonight, great community. Fell in love with it. I grew up just north of Boston. This is a completely different environment from where I was raised. I've run a construction company for the past almost 45 years. I've had projects in excess of $40 million. I've run as many as 100 guys on crews. Got a pretty good handle on the construction racket. I do heavy highway, treatment plants, marine contracting, building work, about anything in the construction, heavy civil end of it, we can handle. I've been your road agent since 2007. I will tell you, the road agent position is a piece of what I do. In this community, where it's a small community, you wear multiple hats. I wear a fair amount of hats here. That's pretty much a quick synopsis of how I've got here and how I've been in Newton.
Okay. All right, do you have any questions for the road agent?
I hope so. Right? Come on.
All right, I think we got some questions coming in. Okay.
So I know the highway budget is always very tight, very
small. What are your plans for the next couple of years as far as road improvements? Where are you going with your road improvements in the next couple of years?
I have a cheat sheet on certain things because I can't retain everything I want to articulate here tonight. So we'll start, thank you, Lisa. So the first one is, I had a road evaluation done every 4 years since I've been road agent. The last one was done in 2022. On that, you can see this on the webpage. You can go and pull it up. So we've knocked off a fair amount of those roads. We still have on that list from 2022, Gale Village, Smith Corner Road, Pond Street, Meadowview Drive, Wallace Street, Bartlett Street is on it. Some of it has changed. When this evaluation was done on not Pond Street, when it was done for Smith Corner Road, it was a chunk of Smith Corner Road. Now, Smith Corner Road, almost the entire length has failed. And I'll focus on that, and I'll get back to your original question in a minute, Lisa, right? Just to do Smith Corner Road will be about $900,000. Just that one. I don't have Smith Corner Road targeted in our repairs for at least 5 years, based upon the deterioration on roads that we have now. My working budget every year is $100,000 in my line item, which the selectmen a few years ago upped. It was half that. And my highway block grant every year is around $90,000 to $100,000. So I have $200,000 to spend on paving annually. And I'll probably say something that I've repeated for the past 12 years. Hugely underfunded. Extremely frustrating. I will get, and I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm going to tell you what I'm going to get the middle to end of April. When are you coming to fix the potholes on my street? And this is a tremendous winter, which is going to accelerate the potholes tremendously. Frost has been pounded in the ground. We've had extremely cold temperatures. The frost heaves are going to start in the next 2 to 3 weeks. The roads fall apart faster than we can fix them. So budgetary, I'm not even close to, not even close to catching up. I'm going to be failing with the budget we have forever, right? 3 years ago, I put in a $5 million bond to try to come up with a financial plan where we could repair the roads in town systematically. It was close. I think a lot of the people in town understand and can see that the roads are deteriorating faster than I can fix them. And it's not just Newton, it's everywhere. The infrastructure across the board is falling apart, and it's expensive. You know, the cost since I become road agent, real quick, these are the two big items. So asphalt, when I started in 2007, was $58 a ton. Last year, when I did the project, it's $80 a ton. That's an increase of 40%. Salt, which is another big commodity that we use, obviously in winter maintenance, was $47 a ton when I started in 2007. We're at right around $76 a ton now. So that's an increase of 58%. The numbers have gone up. The budget has gone up. I'm not going to say the budget hasn't gone up. The selectmen have increased my budget, which is thankful, but I'm nowhere near where we need to be to gain road repair in town. There's another phase to this. It's called pavement preservation. So roads that I've done when I started in 2007 are now starting to fail because I don't have the funding to do pavement preservation. Crack sealing, your center lines start to open up, you start to get stuff to unravel. If you don't get them in a timely fashion, in the winter, water gets in there and destroys the road in years. So my position, and I say this all the time, is extremely frustrating. I know what it takes to fix and maintain an infrastructure. I don't have the funding. I don't have the funding. I don't know if that answered your question. I mean, I just don't have enough money to do what I want in the upcoming years. So, you know, I'll finish a project that we started last year, and that's probably all we're going to get this year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bob Marchand, 8 Highland Street. Again, Mr. Pavero sits up there and he tells you that he wears many hats. And I can tell you about Mr. Pavero's honesty and the fact that he will not sit up there and toot his own horn. When he tells you that he wears many hats, he does so much for the people of this community behind the scenes that goes unnoticed and untalked about. One being, like he said, he knows the conditions of these roads, but he also knows the importance and how he feels about this piece of property and the future of the town of Newton. And Michael, why don't you explain to these people what you proposed to the selectmen for this 1 year, how important you felt it was.
Okay, so this fall, coming into the budget season, we do the same thing every year. We'll do warrant articles, we'll review the budget, we'll look at things that we'd like to, kind of on a wish list coming up, and put it in front of the voters. 2 items that I have done over the past couple of years is one, a warrant article for paving. It's $100,000. 2 years ago, I did $200,000. We got one to pass, which was tremendous because it doubled my operating costs for paving that year. And I think you can notice we got New Boston Road done this year in conjunction with Kingston. That was a big one. That road was terrible for the past 15 years, maybe more. And the other one, so this year when we were talking about warrant articles, I was going to do 100, same thing, warrant article for paving for 100. And I looked at it and agonized over it for a number of meetings in probably a month or so. And I went to the board and I said, I'm going to pull the $100,000 paving warrant out of there with a capital reserve fund that the current board started that I got to jump out of sequence for 1 minute. A lot of people in town don't realize how the highway department in town here works, right? We have one full-time highway employee, and he does a fantastic job. He's one guy. I call him. He doesn't matter if I've called him in hurricanes, tornadoes, snowstorms, pouring rain. It doesn't matter. He doesn't say anything other than, I'll be right there. Can't ask for a better town employee, highway employee, right? So one guy to cover 50 miles of road. We've been advertising for a second employee, which we have in a budget, but it's part-time, no benefits, and the pay scale's too low. So it's got to be 4 years now. I lose track of time. We don't get applicants. None. They're not coming. So I'm down to still one highway employee. The equipment in town, all the equipment that you guys see running around during snowstorms, during the summer, during whatever we're doing for construction, none of it's town equipment. Not one. Not a broom, not a shovel. There is nothing that is town equipment. It's all my equipment that I rent to the town. So we started, I think, 4 years ago, equipment capital reserve. 3? 3 years ago. Which is imperative to start because at some point in time, I don't want to do this anymore. This is not a very fun job. I do it because I care about the town, and it's the only reason why I do it. I'll be tapping out at some point in time. When that happens, I keep in town in excess of $1 million in equipment for this town to use, right? You better come up with an account that you can purchase money when I leave, and you're gonna be looking at a minimum, a 6-wheeler with a wing, a backhoe, and maybe a loader, at $600,000 or $800,000. It's $260,000 right now for a 6-wheeler, a sander, and a wing. That's what it costs. So you need some money. And I opted, my call, because that land is so important this year, I said, let's not do either. The paving line item or the capital reserve. Take them out. We're all sitting here, you're all residents. We had a reval this year. Everybody's numbers went up. Taxes went up. Some a little, some a lot. Doesn't matter, it went up. So I just did not want to complicate or stretch the checkbook any more than possible for any of the residents here and try to keep it focused and the necessary, really necessary to purchase that land up on 8 Merrimack Road this year. Really, really important. That answer it?
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, I think we have a question on Zoom.
Yep. Coleman, you can go ahead.
Is he muted?
One further comment on Bob's comment in that I don't think people, it's not a question, I just wanted to state that I don't think a lot of the residents realize what Mike does for the town. And I got my project manager, I said, you know, Mike charges for that, and he's like, no. He does everything free, he sets up for the parade, he donates a lot of his time, and he doesn't get recognized for it. And like he just said about his equipment, I heard through the grapevine that they wanted to charge him to park his equipment. I mean, Mike does a lot for the town, and I don't think that a lot of people and a lot of residents appreciate what he does. I just wanted to comment on that. He does a great job for the town, and you're gonna be lost when he resigns.
Okay, thank you. Do you have a question?
Tom Blackboard, 24 Smith Corner Road. My friend.
Tommy.
What are the neighboring towns have for budgets? Are we that much lower than them, or where are we at? Do you know?
Yeah, no, we're lower than the surrounding towns. Quick oversight. So Plastow has 38, 40 miles of road. They have a lot of road structure, but a lot of state road, right? Plastow budget is 1.2 million. Kingston has more miles of road. They have 64 miles of road. And they do all the grounds. Their budget, I think, is breathing hard on 2 million, right? Danville, pretty comparable to Newton. His paving line item every year is 400,000. So yeah, are we underfunded? Sure. Am I sitting in front of these people?
Yeah.
Begging for more money? No. Am I asking for money? Yes, because it frustrates me, like I said a little while ago, that I can't fix the infrastructure, but you folks got to reach in your pockets. And it's tight.
I get it.
You
I
know?
get it.
And I'm bringing it up so that, you know, this summer, when you hit a pothole, and my one guy
right
hasn't gotten there yet,
He'll be there, though.
He'll get there.
Yeah, right.
He'll get there.
I know.
But it's a frustrating situation.
I get it. I see it. I see it's a struggle, and I understand it. I know what it costs to build a road, and I know what it costs to pave a road.
Yeah, you do.
And I see what you're doing. You're making a magic out of nothing. I mean, we're heading in the road of Mogadishu path, in my opinion. That's where we're going.
Yeah.
If the resident doesn't see that, it's unfortunate. It's going to get more and more expensive as we go down the road. Instead of
Every year it's more expensive.
It's just going to keep deepening. But I think they need to start looking at this next year. We're not, obviously this year we're not, to get this, property at Merrimack Road, which I fully agree with, because this needs to move on. The town's growing. It needs more infrastructure. It needs to be dealt with. But they need to come for you next year. They need to help you out. This is ridiculous.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And I
Mike.
think next year I'll try for the bond again, because that's the
You
only economic tool where I can actually systematically plan out a plan
Correct.
to get the roads repaired.
Nothing better than planning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike, for your service. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Tom.
Hi, Sandra Estabrook, 7 New Boston Road. Thank you for paving. Now I get woken up by speeders instead of bump, 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 bump. But anyway, I just had, when you were talking about roadways, what is your feeling on new roadways going in town? We seem to have a construction boom lately and a lot of developing, like per house, new roads. Like, how does that affect your budget?
That's a good question. And I think I have a good answer. I don't want one more new roadway in town. Not a one. Some of the roadways that are going in right now will not be town roads. I'm okay with those, right? And I have gone to the planning board, recommended to the planning board a few times some of my concerns and wishes on some of the roads. I truly, you laugh, I don't want another roadway in town. I don't want another foot of roadway. It doesn't help the highway department because on an average taxable household, I get about $307. That's all that new house is gonna fund the highway department, $307. So if let's go big and say it's a 10-house subdevelopment goes in there, right? I get $3,000 to maintain that road that's probably 12 or 1,400 feet long. I don't want it. I don't want it. I can't afford to have it. So yeah, any more roadways coming in? I'm not for them.
Okay. Can I do 2 questions? So Article 4, warrant Article 4 is a petition from the citizens about driveways for agricultural purposes. So I was wondering if there's a definition of agricultural purposes, and then would you be the one handing out the permits?
Yeah, based upon my understanding of that warrant article, and first, agricultural is really loose. It's a really loose word thrown into that driveway application. I know the reason for that warrant going in, and that resident won't get a second driveway. Won't. It's a shell game. There's, and I said it, I think at deliberative session or whatever, there probably could be a legitimate reason to have a second driveway as an agricultural driveway. But I think your frontage on your property probably has to be 1,000 feet long to get another second driveway. Don't come to me and have your driveway 55 feet from center to center and say one of them is for agricultural. Not getting it. So if I'm the one executing these permits, it'll be very, very specific, and it will have to fit an agricultural. Don't get a couple chickens and ducks and tell me you're an agricultural operation.
Right.
Not working.
Because our zoning and state, they're trying to limit the amount of access to highways and streets anyway, so it would be counterproductive to that.
You're correct. Yeah, yeah. I mean, every driveway, there's 617 driveways in town right now. And during the winter when we plow, there's 1,670 people that are pissed off at me. I don't need another driveway either. It's just like another road.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, any other questions? No? Any final words? No? All right,
No, I don't think so.
then I release you.
Thank you.
All right, we have one more.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we have one more candidate. He's running for school board, budget, right? And that's Jim Summers.
Can everybody hear me okay? Oh yeah, you can hear me. Hello Newton, my name's Dr. James Summers. I'm a state representative representing the town of Newton. I've spent 4 terms as a state representative of the town of Newton. 2 terms for the town of Newton and 2 terms for the city of Nashua. I'm running for the 3-year term for the Newton seat, the school budget committee. So where is concerned to me earlier in this past year, looking at the finances of the property taxes, the town, and of the school budget, and most of you realize that with the property taxes, that at least over 3/4 of the entire property tax budget you spend is on the school. When you look at at least it's 3/4, when you look at the amount of, when you look at the budget, and first you see that I think this year it was 76 pages long, and you go through and number one, it's very, very hard to understand. If you actually went through the entire budget, you'll see it looks like a lot of repetitive, administrative. They don't break everything out easily to read. Secondly, it's very hard to understand exactly where the money is going. Maybe it's on purpose, maybe it's not, but at least it takes them the entire year after basically when you receive the budget, to be able to go through it and find out where everything is going. Now, this 3-year term coming up is very important for multiple reasons. One is because of the fact that Fremont, during this 3 years, is going to be exiting. The population of the schools has been decreasing year over year. And thirdly, and this should be a tax benefit for those of us here, is the Sanborn High School will finally be paid for. So looking at the amount of money that we get at, and with the decreasing population, there's a lot of looking at what makes budgetary sense. We look at buildings. We understand that the contract is where, because it's between Kingston and Newton, right? From what I understand, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we have to have at least 1 school in Newton, 1 school in Kingston. Right now we have one in Newton, but we have 2 in Kingston. Do we need all 3? And when the high school is down, do we look, and is decreasing in size, do we look at opportunities to lease part of the high school? Do we move, like say a community college, maybe something like Bay Area did, where they actually leased out part of a high school as a remote satellite program for them? These are just some of the ideas. Now, where I come from, experience for budgeting. As I said, I'm a doctor. I have a PhD in business administration, strategic management, specialized in economics. I have my MBA. It's in accounting, finance, and I also have recently have my law degree as well. So I know quite a bit about finance, and I've been looking at a lot of the infrastructure, the setup of the town license agreements, and so I plan on looking at many of that and working with the current board, those that are still there, and the new incoming members to actually look through the budget, find out what makes sense, and what we actually can look at that we need and don't need. For example, the deliberative, and it was mentioned earlier, they had a $4 million surplus. Now, after the deliberative, Pam Brown, the chairman, was able to argue in the deliberative to be able to cut $1.1 million of that to actually give it back out of the new budget that they were proposing. Probably could have asked for more, but that was the argument that she was able to get. So with the finances that are going to be changing over the next 3 years, I thought it was an important position to run for, and that's why I'm running for it and supporting Newton at the school budget committee. So, thank you.
Do you have any questions? I think one's coming up. Anybody on Zoom? No. Okay.
Mike Conley, 18 Overlook Road here in Newton. I appreciate your background, especially in the economics and the accounting. I have two questions, if that's okay. One, when you look at consolidation, are you in favor, or would you be in favor of putting grades 1 through 12 in one school?
That was a consideration. I've actually considered that. It's very popular out in Midwest towns, smaller towns. I would say, though, that takes some growth opportunity. So what I would say is right away, no. And I would say the separation could easily be done, I believe, with a school in Newton because of the requirement for the school in Newton and school in Kingston. The school in Newton having a grades 1 to 5 or 1 to 6, within the middle school, high school being together in Kingston, maybe even probably more likely the Sanborn High School. So that would eliminate Bakey. Now, what we do with the increased amount of elementary school kids is, and we talked about this, the budget committee's actually talked about this, is they lease, right now they currently lease out to a charter school there at Memorial, used to be the middle school, possibly looking at them, and it would be better for them, more space, to actually put them in Bakey, and possibly that way you'd have more room to use maybe down in the soon-to-be future, use a Memorial School as, Middle School, the old middle school, as a larger elementary school to handle the kids both from Kingston, to combine the two elementary schools in one.
Okay. Second question, I know the answer because everybody says the same answer, but as you go through the economics and you look at things, you have to make cuts. What are your thoughts and what do you think about safety?
So safety is very, very important to schools. We talk about this at the state level all the time. So there's been many bills that have come up and failed for policemen, metal detectors, items like that for at least the high school level. In fact, right now I believe there's a House bill right now. House bill right now that's looking at possible metal detectors, at least for schools at the mid to large size. I can't remember what the cutoff was, but at least for the towns with more than more than one high school. As far as the so that's for the in-school shooting, in-school problems they have. As far as the locked doors, the coding, I think that's important, at least where they have an entrance I like the way that the high school does it, where they have an entryway for the parents to come in, go through the front desk. They're unable to go through the key card to get inside. I think there should be at least more cameras in that around the backside, the athletic area, at least at the high school. And so that's how I feel about safety for the school.
Thank you.
Hi, Susan Peterson, 1 Highland Street. I have two questions. One is, how do you feel about the state Supreme Court and its two decisions that say that the state is not doing its part to fund the schools?
Constant, yes. So that's a constant debate we deal up with the State House all the time. Is in fact that we've seen where there's more bills to actually to EFAs have been education freedom accounts have been a big concept up there at the State House, where it has been increasing basically year over year the percentage over the amount of poverty that is allowed to go to education freedom accounts. There's also been the changes where parental choice of schools, where it was brought up earlier about parents having the choice to send their kids to basically the school they want. We have seen substance like that, kind of like that here in Newton, Kingston area, Sanborn, where we've had many of our students, and I noticed it as a coach here, when you get to athletics, where a lot of your primetime athletic talent ends up going to Central Catholic instead of going to the local schools here, and you lose them that way. So, but as the population drops, the amount is, I would say the first thing that sticks out as a red light is the administrative costs. And where I get that is...
I'm not, yeah, I don't think you're answering my question, though, and that is, how do you feel about the State House actually ignoring this two decisions by the Supreme Court that say you have to fund public schools to a higher degree? My second question would obviously be then, how did you vote on EFAs, which are 70% of the people who take advantage of that already had their children in private schools, and how are you planning to vote on the open school enrollment?
For the, so for the EFA account, for the, because I think we still have one coming up this year, but as far as the one most recently, I voted for the increase of it, I believe, the EFA.
So you voted to take the cap off of income necessarily, right?
Voted to take the income off of it. Correct.
Okay, so even the wealthiest people who are sending their children already to Phillips Exeter, they get a $5,000 bonus. Is that right? Which is more than that we send to schools from the state budget for any school, any child in our public schools. So, you know, I wonder how much I think there's a juxtaposition of your desire to cut the budget of the schools, but not fund it from the state level. And that's really all I had to say. So.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions or comments? No? All right, then remember March 10th at the fire station. You will be voting on all these articles, and from 8 to 8. So be there and get your vote cast. Thank you for coming, and thank you everybody on Zoom. Have a good evening.